Hi everyone and welcome back to Chess for Charity. In this video, I'm going to try to see if I can solve a cool puzzle that was given to me on Discord by an amazing viewer. So the goal is to place a piece down and then make the next move for white as checkmate. So that's about all the directions that we have. So let's just say, for example, I wanted to place a queen, I don't know, on h1. It's supposed to be that now I move and it's checkmate. So, for example, if I were to check, this is not a solution, right? Because I could check, but then they'd be able to block. It's not checkmate in one, right? So, place a piece down and then checkmate in one on the next move. Hopefully those conditions are clear. If you'd like to try to solve that puzzle on your own, feel free to give it a chance. If not, sit back and enjoy the ride. Before I start looking at this, I should just say thank you to the viewer who suggested it. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. Remember that half of the income that I earn in this channel goes directly to charity, so a free subscription to you helps me out a lot. Okay, so let's get started. One of the first things I thought was, okay, I'm looking at this king. This king is almost checkmated because it has nowhere to go. These squares are all blocked off. If only there was a way I can cover this diagonal with something. And I have this luxury of being able to put a piece down. So I thought maybe I can put a piece down, maybe something like this, cover this square, and then give mate in one. And it turns out it's not really a good idea because I have to put something down and then I have to make a move, right? So it's not like I can put something down and then put something else down, you know, like this or something, or like this. Instead, I have to put something down and then make the move. So my first thought was, okay, what if I can cover this square somehow, maybe with a knight? Maybe I put a knight here and that'll give check, but that doesn't cover this square, so the king can run away. These are the kinds of the thoughts that you have. And then you think, these pawns are going up the board, like this, and you think maybe there's a way I can put something down and then somehow check the king. So maybe, for example, put a queen here, and then how about this? Put a queen here and then check the king. Would that work? Well, you can't put a queen here, right? So that doesn't work. So, okay, you want to put something here, right? Hold on, let's think about this. So you want to put something here so that you can try to promote to a knight or something, right? So if there's a knight here, oops, I moved that piece away. If there was like a knight here, and I promoted to a knight, that would not work because the king would be able to take, right? So I need to figure out, let me clear this off. I need to figure out how this works. It should be stated immediately that anything on this diagonal is just going to get blocked. So if I place a piece here, I don't know, like here, and then it's white's move, I can't give check, I can't give check, I can't give check, because those will all get taken and it will not be mate in one, right? And anything on this diagonal, same idea. You block, it's not mate in one. It may still be mate, but it's not mate in one. And the position is supposed to be place a piece down, mate the king in one. So upon thinking about it a bit more, maybe you start seeing the idea. So it would be nice to promote that c pawn to a knight, right? If I promoted the c pawn to a knight, let's just look at that. I'd be checking the king. I'd be leaving this, or I'd be covering this out square where the king was trying to leave. And of course, this square is covered by the pawn. So, but that would leave the b8 square, right? And we already talked about, if I placed a piece here, like a rook, if I promote to a knight, like this, that's not going to work because they can just take the rook, right? So we have to figure out what makes sense. So what if I tried to place, it says it places a piece, right? So what if I tried to place a black piece? Well, let's start with kind of the obvious. I can't place a pawn there. So what about like a queen? Can I put a queen here? Well, I could, but if I promote to a knight in this case, that's not checkmate. Even though the king is completely cut off, this just gets captured, right? It's not checkmate. So that doesn't work. If I do a rook, it's the same thing. I promote this pawn to a queen, or sorry, to a knight. Not checkmate because it can be captured. So it looks like we're on the right track, but put this pawn back. What if I put a knight here? Well, I can't push this pawn because, you tell me, it's illegal. I'm in check, in case that's not clear. So there's actually an answer here, and I'm kind of getting there, and here it is. The answer is to place a bishop here. And now you can promote this pawn to a knight, and that is checkmate. Now you wonder, what's the difference again? Why a bishop instead of a queen? Because you might think a bishop functions on a diagonal just like the queen functions on a diagonal. So what's the point? Well, the reason is because this bishop cannot capture my knight. Before, when there was a queen here, when there was a queen there, and there was a knight there, if I can get the board to work, I get captured, and this is not checkmate. So we need the under promotion, not under promotion necessarily, we need the bishop here because it's going to not be able to capture our knight, which will lead to this checkmate. That's a cool puzzle. I like that. I think there are a lot of ways to think about it. You might start at white pieces and then eventually kind of get your way to it can't be a white piece. And that's kind of cool. I think that there are all sorts of ways to think about it. But yeah, the first thing I thought was that diagonal. This diagonal is just blocked off. So there's no way I can put something somewhere and then give check to the king. That's kind of the way you think about it. What way can I give check? You can't give check here. You can't give check along this diagonal because the knight can always interpose. And you can't give check right here because there's nothing supporting that square. So there's no other way to think about it instead of this has to be my move. That will give check and that will cover the out square. But this is currently the problem. This queen is seeing this square. So block it with their own piece. That piece is a bishop, and then promote to a knight. Super cool under promotion. Cover everything like this. And that is a win. Isn't that sweet? Thank you to the viewer who suggested that. You are so cool for being able to make these. The fact that you make them is just so much fun. I've wanted to do some of my own puzzles to create them, but I'm not quite there yet. I have to, take some time on that. But yeah, that is it for the video. If you enjoyed the content, be sure to like and subscribe. Remember, as I said, every single person who subscribes helps me out a lot. But yeah, that's it for now. Thank you so much. Bye.